Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. And while we're still in maintenance, I decided to record this video. I was originally just going to kind of insert this into another video rather than doing it as its own thing. But you know what, since I brought so much attention to one thing, I may as well bring attention to this. But this is going to make one person in particular have an absolute field day, and I can't be bothered. But so be it, we'll do it. Anyway, we were talking in my factions Discord, where obviously people were saying to me like, oh Hayzink, do you definitely think they're not going to make any new units? And I says, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not 100% confident, but they still could. And then we got to talking about like what could come and stuff like that. And one of the things that I actually had said was talking about new units was I made this comment where I said, honestly, well, it doesn't actually bother me. I think after a while people will get sick of Camy and Chun-Li ults, as that's all they seem to target, female fighters, and there isn't exactly that many of them in the game. So that was what I said. I think it was like, it says what, a day ago? Literally like, it was 2 days ago. I don't know why it says a day ago, it was 2 days ago, right? But I literally said that 2 days ago. Then lo and behold, they drop an update, and inside that update they are actually going to be working on some new units, it seems, because you can see here, this is not one of the unreleased Chinese fighters. This is actually a new unit who wasn't in the previous version of the game, and it is another Camy, which is just quite funny considering I was saying that if they bring out a new fighter, it's probably going to be Camy or Chun-Li, as the it's not even a thing that's intrinsic to this. It's a gacha game thing. They're always going to try and bring out females. It's just what they do. They just always make females. I'm not against that at all. Just when you've only really got four females in the game. Is it Makoto, Sakura, Elena, Camy and Chun-Li? It's 5. When you've only got so many, there's only so many kind of character variations that you can make, right? And the issue with Chun-Li and Camy, to a certain extent Elena, although I don't know how old Elena is, but Chun-Li and Camy are the only two they can really lean into the whole sex appeal kind of thing with, right? So you're probably going to see a lot more, and first new unit that we're going to get that's not part of the Chinese 6 or 5 now is actually going to be Camy. So yeah, it's good news. It's exactly what I said. If you go back and you watch that video, I said in that video, if they are making new units, we would have to start seeing something about them soon. This is soon, right? So this is exactly what needed to happen, right? So I mean, I really have not said anything that was untrue. Like, we had 5 units left. If we are going to see more units, we would have to start seeing them soon. I wasn't confident. Well, my confidence was misplaced, or my lack of confidence was misplaced, because they do have some stuff at least cooking. So I'd like to think that he's not the only one. I'm not sure about this art, to be honest. Like, her face looks a bit off to me. Does that matter? I don't know. I don't care. Does anyone care? People probably do care, but maybe it's just the angle, or the colouring, or the shading, or maybe it's a different artist or something, but I don't know, there's just something about her face that looks a bit off to me. So obviously we don't know anything about this unit. Could they be reskins of the gods? I don't know. If they are, that's probably good, because it would mean that we would have at least another, what, 5 that they could reskin, because you've got the pop star and you've got 3 other gods, I think. One of those gods are pretty tall, so maybe that could be a new Sagat, who would make sense because, like, we've got, what, 2 Sagats, and we've never had a special summon Sagat. This unit I expect would probably be a special summon, although she could quite easily just come out between events, but I think more than likely they would probably make it a special summon. What, she looks like an admiral or something? Is it going to be like Admiral Camy? I mean, if you look at the way she's got a kind of admiralish look about her, I would say. I mean, I don't know. I was in the military, actually. Believe it or not, I was actually in the army. But to me, that kind of looks a bit navy-ish, and I think Maybe that's what they're going for, like Admiral Camy. That would make sense. But then at the same time, does it look a bit like M Bison, but white? You know, so it could be like a good Bison kind of thing, because obviously there's lots of Camy dolls, I don't know, Bison dolls or whatever they're called. So maybe it's not Camy, maybe it's a Bison doll variant of Camy. I don't really know how the license works here, because when I'm having the units, alts, strictly speaking, aren't in Street Fighter 4. So, like, where does the scope of the license go? Like, if you're allowed to do whatever you want with the units who are in Street Fighter 4, you can take Camy and make a different version of her, right? So she doesn't even necessarily need to be called Camy. Like, she could be called, like, I don't know, Good Bison Chick or whatever. I don't even know, right? But I'm wondering where the scope goes, right? Because it's something I've also wondered as well. It's like, we can't get Street Fighter 5 characters, we can't get Street Fighter 6 characters, we can only get characters that were available in Street Fighter 4, right? That's been established. But could we get Bearded Ryu? Like, Bearded Ryu didn't come out until later, but they have the license for Ryu. So with that just being an alt of Ryu, is that allowed to be in this game? Does that make sense? Like Bison, the new Bison, the way that he looks, Hobo Bison or whatever people are calling him. I've seen him called Homeless Bison. Could he come to this game? Because they do have the license for Bison. They're allowed to, if they get approval, they're allowed to have Bison appearing in ways that he didn't appear in Street Fighter 4, because there is no Overlord Bison in Street Fighter 4. That costume, that look, everything about him, that's new, that's not available in Street Fighter 4. So if they wanted to, could they get Hobo Bison, or does he count as something different? You know, like, I mean, there is still scope, definitely still scope to make units, and if they're going to do everyone all over again, which I hope they are, then that's going to be a whole batch of new units. To the people who maybe think that I knew about this, I didn't, because if I did, I wouldn't have made the last video, right? Simple as. I wasn't confident that they were going to bring more units. They are going to bring more units, at least this one, and hopefully more. I'd like to think they're not just going to make one unit, right? So, am I going to change my habits? No, because, like, to be honest, I was changing my habits anyway. I don't really want to spend money on gachas anymore. I enjoy playing this one, but I've seen the futility. I mean, I've seen the futility a long time ago of spending on gachas, just in general, right? I have, because ultimately, whether the game closes, this is not me talking about end of service, I'm just saying in general, whether the game closes tomorrow or whether it closes in 2 years, should you really be spending thousands of pounds on a game like this when what could you get with that money? You could get probably a decent PC, you could get PC handheld, you could get multiple games consoles. I mean, I don't really think there's any way to say that it's worth it. So maybe it's a bit late, I don't know. Oh, it's obviously a bit late, right? But I kind of want to stop that. I'm not going to say that I'm going to go free to play, because I can't. I gain too much from early exposure, but this isn't going to change my habits. This isn't going to now make my new habits different, where I'm suddenly going to go, oh, that's it, new unit, I'm going to go and start buying every single grant, every single thing available in the game. Maybe if I really like a unit, like Bison, if he's good, I might say, right, okay, I'll pick up the grant, because I know that if I want to get this unit, that's 2 copies less, then maybe it'll be worth it. But I'm not just going to buy everything willy-nilly, right? That was something I was going to change about my habits towards these games in general anyway, because for me, the way that I did play any gacha game, I just get sucked in far too easily. And the amount of gacha games I've ditched in the past where I've got investment in, I need to stop that, right? But this is me leaking, I suppose. I mean, there's already people doing it. People might try and claim innocence, but if you're going to go and change your profile picture to the new unit, you're clearly leaking stuff. Don't really know why you would pretend you're not. But yeah, we've got the new unit. This one. When's she going to come out? Who knows? Bison was put into the file when Leonardo dropped, and that's Bison just out now. So she could be the next divination unit. I doubt they would drop her as a divination unit. She could be the next special summon unit. That's possible. She could be the one after. We don't know exactly, but this is at least a sign that they are still working on stuff within the game. So the whole 5 units left on China doesn't change, but it now looks like we're maybe going to have other stuff mixed within that. So positive news if you're still wanting to play Street Fighter Duel, like I am. Maybe I can start getting more confident. Maybe they've got a whole other roster of units. All I would say though is, can we just stop leaning on Camy and Chun-Li so much? There's characters in the game that don't even have an ult. Maybe do ults for them? Because people would appreciate it, I believe. I could be wrong. But I think if you make a unit and the unit's good, it doesn't necessarily matter who that unit is. I think people would summon for them, because I think these days, especially in this game, people do summon based on kits, not just who the unit is. Obviously, people will summon units who maybe aren't the best because it's their favourite unit, but I don't think that many people would skip really good units because it's not their favourite unit, if that makes sense. So units like Fei Long, units like Rolento, I guess units like Rufus, all these units are there, they're primed. If you're going to continue to make new characters for the game, widen your horizons a little bit. This is not a criticism, I'm just pointing out that this is going to be Camy number... Do we count Camy and Vega? I'm going to say we count Camy and Vega. I think this is Camy number 4. It might even be Camy number 5. I can't actually remember the amount of Camys that we have right now. If you include the Capri, that number goes up. But maybe chill on Camy and Chun-Li for a while. Try doing some new units. But positive sign, we've got new stuff coming out. Mr. Hayzink, you're a shill. You knew this was coming. I'm not even going to respond this time. Can't be arsed, right? I didn't know. Now I'm letting you guys know as soon as I know, because people think I said this is definitely not going to happen, which is not what I said, just to be clear. It has happened. Let's hope it continues to happen. Happy days. Sees when they actually update the game. I can do my trial videos, do my Bison summons. I need to go out, and they've extended the maintenance by an hour. Catch you in the next one. Peace.